into pool play once again. We have Carolina Gaming coming from the open bracket against Optic Gaming. It's clutch here, joined by Dave Walsh, and Interference Stronghold's the name of the game for game 1 in this series. Hopping on board with Formal to kick this one off. He's made his way top white. He's actually going to try to push Mortally, get that first kill. And Optic Gaming already getting the better of Carolina Gaming here off the opening break.
Yeah, and we did see that they got more kills, but we did see Stronghold in favor of Carolina, so at least got some points on the board off the rip. But this one can be very snowbally, especially when you see Overshield in the hands of Deadzone.
Yeah, you're seeing Optic Gaming with basically complete map control. They haven't pushed the trip cap yet, but you can almost guarantee the Deadzone with that Overshield. As you can see him from Formal's point of view, ahead of the team right now, creating some space. And here come Optic Gaming. The Swarm's coming in, 2 go down for Carolina. Make it 3 go down. They're going to flip the map. So Carolina will spawn bunker, but immediately Optic Gaming jumping into C will be able to continue control of B and C as well.
Reasonable trades there by Carolina Gaming, though. I believe I saw Envore making a Herculean, taking out Deadzone with a sticky grenade, trying to buy some time over at that C stronghold. But the damage has been done. Spawn over in bunker. How is Carolina Gaming going to break out there? And they're making the push over into Hall.
Yeah, they got a few kills to work with here, and that's big. Coming off that spawn, they immediately hit that barrel side of the map. They were able to find a couple of kills, and now it looks like they're going to be able to at least get A and C. This B stronghold, however, still being held down by Formal as he gets taken down by Yakzn here. That big kill can allow Carolina to continue map control. You can see they flipped the map now. Optic spawning in bunker, a killing spree for Yakzn, and he's a young player on the scene that's been grinding matchmaking. This is his first, probably biggest opportunity to team with players that have been around the scene for a while. Envore, Mortally, Common, Yakzn proving that the young gun has some skill to him as he's on a killing spree right now against Optic Gaming, and now Carolina are actually in control of GC and continuing to score.
Yeah, I feel like, too, when I think of a lot of these names in Carolina Gaming, like Mortally, Envore, Common, like, I don't foresee them just giving an opportunity to anyone. You either need to have been proven in a big name already, or you've had to prove it with your skill, and so they must have clearly been impressed. And pulling off a killing spree against Optic Gaming is doing some work here for this Carolina Gaming squad.
Yeah, still a lot of work to be done because right now the trip cap in effect for Optic Gaming ever since that killing spree has been all Optic Gaming in the kill feed. And now with this trip cap in hand, Dave, you noted how snowbally this map can get. How long can Optic Gaming keep this triple kills? A couple down now for Optic Gaming, so a good job by Carolina to get a few kills. They are going to be able to transfer over B, but this AC hold still for Optic is going to be strong. Respawners are going to be able to defend some of these. Lucid under a lot of pressure here bottom of the tower. Has a guy jumping up top window. It's Yakzn, gets into no shield, but Lucid jiggles his life, gets his shield back, and that is a perfect play from Lucid to continue A control at the very least. And now Optic are jumping in B as well.
One thing I also really like about that jiggle there with Lucid is, yes, at any moment he could have committed, jumped out and committed to the fight.
That's what I would have
done.
done.
But for the most part, he's just buying time and attention. He's just ever so slightly showing his leg, just shooting some shots, making sure Yakz's sight does not look at his teammate until his teammate gets the kill, and then he reveals himself.
Yeah, he's keeping the information and also the attention of players as he's playing his life in order to buy time for the team to get there, find that easy kill. And because of that, he creates so much space for his team. Overshield's going to be coming up in 20 seconds. Optic now over 100 points. An AC hold for them as well. They get a couple of kills. They're going to be able to push this trip cap once again. And this is where the game could get ugly. 3 go down for Carolina Gaming. The 4th player is going to be Mortally back.
Wow.
Carbine and Deadzone makes slight work of him with Overshield coming up. Carolina have a lot of work to do if they want to be able to defend this.
Yeah, I love that finishing headshot there from Deadzone, just on top of that platform. I've gotten in that fight many a times, knowing where that head space is going to be when somebody's jumping, and there's going to be a second Overshield. Perfect kill, a killing spree. Why not make it a triple kill for Deadzone, doing everything?
Oh,
Overkill.
Wow. Kicking his Saturday off the right way. Deadzone finds himself an over. 13, 5, and 4 to kick this one off. And I mean, he's still going to work. And look at the score, Dave. Up over 100 points now.
Also, I just had to look over the bottom right. He only had 10 volts of damage. So how often do you think you have to deliberately go out of your way to pick up bandit ammo, not just accidentally even running over it across someone's body?
Yeah, he hadn't walked over an enemy's body throughout that spree. He's starting to heat up for Optic Gaming, a player that they need to have a strong Saturday if they want to go through the winner's bracket. And you know everybody wants that advantage in the grand finals. Optic having been there twice now, but not having that advantage has really hurt them throughout this season. So they know how important this Saturday is going to be for them. Deadzone leading by example right now. BNC in control of Optic still, 153 points to their name, and Common can't quite transfer over B before he gets bombarded with nades. And now look at the rest. Cannon fodder, Carolina Gaming right now. Optic have put them in the trap once again.
Yeah, fish in a barrel down there. You can just see when it comes to individual skill-wise, you do see a lot of moments and top plays there from these members of Carolina Gaming. When it comes to overall macro play and team positioning, you just notice that 2 players there at Engine 1, you can't really do much there. It's okay to have that second person go down, but they didn't really have any options. Lucid was up in bunker. You had Deadzone or TriPPPeY over in connector. There's just not many great spots you can go.
And when you make a mistake like that, Optic will punish you with the best of them. Carolina have not been able to get off their spawn since, and now the lead up 200 points just about to 39. Carolina scrapping into A, able to at least get out of this trip cap situation. But this game nearly over. 3 down again for Carolina. The spawns continue to just get collapsed on over and over. Optic Gaming continuing to swarm. And Deadzone was a clear lead in the Slayers just a minute ago, and the rest of Optic Gaming look like they've caught up with Deadzone. Formal up to 14, TriPPPeY and Lucid back to 12. Everyone's starting to heat up.
And look at this, Yakzn just over at the bunker stairs and drawing 2 players still over there. Shows how much control that Optic have across the map, but Yakzn still playing that right, because generally if you're drawing so many players over in this corner of the map, it should relieve some pressure across the map for teammates to get out, but it's too little too late, 249, and that's going to be 250 on the board for Optic Gaming. A dominating game 1 to kick off their Saturday.
Yeah, you mentioned it. That game type can get snowballing. When Optic got full control there about at the midpoint, they never looked back. They never relinquished that control, and they put Carolina Gaming in a trap there in game 1. And 250 to 39, that's a tough scoreline if you're Carolina Gaming, but you kind of know that that's going to happen going against a team like Optic Gaming. If you make any mistakes, even the smallest, Optic will make you pay for it, and they made Carolina pay. The slays heavily on the side of Optic, and everybody getting some of theirs. And I mean, we saw the amazing overkill from Deadzone, but it really is the entire team that seemed to find their flow there in the mid game.
Yeah, just so well done there from Optic. The last stat I would love to check too is if we can see Deadzone's damage, because I just felt like he was doing so many shots across the map, and there
Checks
it is.
out.
Yep, most damage in the game. And like I said, when you see somebody run out of bandit ammo in one life,
they probably did some damage.
You know they did a lot of shots and a lot of damage.
Another note is he had so much damage taken as well. He had a few of those overshields in his back pocket that allows him to take a little bit more damage, but you can just tell how involved Deadzone is. He's writing the blueprint on how to play interference strongholds, and Deadzone showed everybody a little bit of the glimpse that he can reach. Game 2 back in the action. Optic Gaming taking game 1 in dominant form. Deadzone gave us an overkill, and Deadzone starting to pick up where he left off here. Finds himself a double. Beautiful route by him. He finds himself a red gun, a repulse, and he even gets in a position here where when Camo comes up in 10 seconds, he should have a good angle. But if you look at Optic Gaming's scoreboard here, they go 3 down. And right now, Deadzone trying to create some space to maybe help compete with this camouflage that's coming up.
It's so active across the map. The very first thing I really liked there from Deadzone as he was pushing across B Street is the moment he saw that nade just explode a little bit in front of him, he sprinted through. He knows that those are windows of opportunity to get somebody off. Because when players throw a grenade in an area, you are looking away from that spot, knowing that that spot is safe for a certain amount of time. And that way when Deadzone popped out of there immediately after that grenade, most people can't time that as perfectly. And so you almost start to build this second instinct within Halo that you start to see things. It's like, well, I wasn't expecting to make this charge or this push right now, but this opportunity came right in front of me, and I'm taking it. Absolutely,
and he's already done 1 lap around the map. He's actually playing perfect Halo right now. 4-0-0, giving Optic the difference here in the scoreboard. 11-6. They find themselves with the lead, but what can Deadzone do with this red gun still in hand? Got the Bulldog in his back pocket, everything in Deadzone's disposal. Unfortunately, the combat is going across the map, so he's going to repulse up the stairs. He's going to get involved here, as a lot of Carolina Gaming is in front of him right now. All of Optic go down in that situation, 13-8, so this game not getting out of hand just yet, but Deadzone's still a problem on the map. A killing spree for Deadzone as he finds the first pick in the tires here. A player does come out of PD unsuspectingly. He's able to pick up 1 kill. Lucid, no shield here, but Lucid's got teammates in TriPPPeY. Keep him alive. Now Lucid back in the action, dealing damage into the courtyard right there. Optic are trying to contain Carolina here back tower, and if they get their shield back, they're going to look to push. But Formal and TriPPPeY have been able to get this camouflage. So TriPPPeY is actually going to be flanking with the second camo. And unfortunately for Carolina, they were in such a position there, Dave, where they weren't able to even compete for the camo. And now this is where the game can get out of hand.
Yeah, and one thing that's interesting to me is I generally view Optic as kind of that slower team. Like when you think of the big three, they're the ones that are slightly slower paced compared to FaZe and SSG. But I'm seeing some fast-paced action here from Optic. I can't tell if that is due to them just having more control or if we're just seeing a slightly different play style here coming out of Optic.
Yeah, I think it's a different play style. I think that's an important thing to note. It's almost a little like they don't respect Carolina Gaming the same level that they would respect FaZe or SSG, and I mean honestly rightfully so. They know exactly kind of where they stand on the totem pole compared to Carolina, so I think they're kind of brute forcing their way through this series. 25-15 now, a 10-kill lead, and I don't think Optic Gaming are going to show the intensity that some of the top matches will show later on today that they find themselves in, so I wouldn't be surprised if they're not playing as tight as they normally would. You don't want to fall into the spell of this becomes your normal play style if you're Optic Gaming.
Yeah, you're right, and there's that delicate balance. On one hand, you don't want to build up bad habits and play in a way that you're not going to in later series. Same time, you don't want to exhaust yourself. You got a long Saturday ahead of yourself. Do you really want to be playing a 12-minute Slayer game number 2 to start off your Saturday?
Yeah, in series like this, I think you go in just trying to get your shot warm, trying to overwhelm the other team. Just feel confident going into the winner's bracket. We know that's where Optic will be if they keep this up. Having a phenomenal day yesterday, going 2-0 in the pools, looking to go 3-0 in the pools and close this series out here in 3 games. Game 2 is looking great for them, up 11, make it 12 now.
Carolina get back into this. They're going to need to get this camo. We do see 3 fall for Optic, so the very first time I would almost say in this entire series thus far, Carolina should have some real control. They have some real weapons. Did they secure that camo? I would hope to see that in a moment, but I do see Mortally got picked off by a grenade, and sometimes when that camo time's coming up, you know grenades are flying over near ATMs. So that could have been Mortally with a camo getting picked off. I'm not certain, though.
Yeah, if they did get camo, everyone on their team has gone down since. So that camo is negated. That power curve, not an opportunity for Carolina to try and get back into this. They had the red gun and the shotgun. Common wasn't really able to manifest too much with it. I believe he just traded with TriPPPeY. And that you need to find more success when you have control of power weapons, especially on a map like Streets, especially when you find yourself down 10 kills. Nothing it feels like Carolina can do right now to make up that difference. They do pick up a kill first, and this pressure on the Deadzone is going to be heavy. He should be going down here shortly, but he's going to actually play this near corner in the courtyard as the rest of Optic Gaming look over him. Deadzone's actually still alive and a problem on the map, and now here he comes back. Can't quite get the kill on Immortally. Good job on Mortally to patiently play that situation, let Deadzone come to him, but now look at this situation. They find themselves all trapped in PD. Optic getting all the kills, Lucid even finding a way to win that fight at 13-7-7. Lucid is starting to pick it up as well.
Yeah, the biggest difference you see at this, as you go through the different stages of these top teams and top pros, is how much opportunity time they're buying for their teammates. You saw Deadzone right there. Deadzone, sure, could have maybe challenged that fight and had a 10% chance of potentially turning that fight and winning that in PD. Instead, buys a full 10 seconds, keeping that player's attention over there in PD, and ends up coming around about 15 seconds later to help finish off that fight in PD.
I think that's such a good point because I think that's what high-level Halo Infinite has become. How much time can you buy respawners the ability to impact this combat loop? If you cannot find, if you are a quick death or you get averaged in this gap, what we call it, then all of a sudden their focus is now on your teammates that are trying to get to you. And if that timing becomes off, that timing can become ugly and you can go multiple players down instead of just losing one. But as I say that, the game, it's already over, 50-37. Once again, everybody on Optic getting their piece, 14, 13, 11, 12. Those are perfect stats in the Slayer that you see from their team. That means everybody got a piece of the pie there as Optic once again closed this game 2 out. No sweat really, and they look just as dominant as we would assume them to here as they kick their Saturday off.
Yeah, no fear of Optic losing that game too. It felt like anytime they started to get a lead, they would extend their lead a little further. It felt like anytime we did see Carolina get control, which was once or twice, they just didn't really, they weren't able to
push
accumulate anything from it. Yeah, they were able to you know, claw back a couple kills, but after that kind of got back in a neutral scenario, and then Optic were winning a lot of those neutral exchanges. So well done by Carolina Gaming, but Optic, they're one of the big three for a reason. If
you're talking about bright sides, you got to talk about Common and Yakzn there in that game too. They both actually go +1. It was Envore and Mortally that kind of suffered in the stats department, but still doesn't feel good. But still seeing a little bit of promise out of Yakzn, somebody that we haven't had a wide spread of gameplay to kind of judge and base where he is as a player. But obviously he's doing a little bit better than I guess some core members of this team that we've seen play at a decently high level. So Envore and Mortally, not to call them out, as it's definitely team versus team, just strengths on the side of Optic.
There needs to be some bodies that are going first through, especially on streets as you're breaking out PD or out tram.
Yeah.
And that's definitely how it's going to go. It's going to skew towards different players on your team, stats being inflated or deflated. But like you said, if this is one of those first series in a main tournament against someone like Optic to still pull a positive stat, that's got to feel good.
A little something to walk away with. We're going to walk away, wait for Game 3 to get kicked off, but we'll be right back with that Game 3. And Optic Gaming up 2-0 now against Carolina Gaming. We're back and into action. It's Game 3, Optic Gaming up 2-0, looking to put Carolina Gaming to bed here in the pool play still, trying to advance 3-0 in the pool. And this is a map that I think has the potential to last the longest of any of the 3 map mode combinations we've seen. Empyrean and CTF sometimes can go the distance, but Optic Gaming are truly one of the most efficient teams we have in Empyrean and CTF. This is one of their strongest map mode combinations. So I'm expecting to see some early action, at least towards the flag. Right now, we're going to hop on board with Lucid. He's got the S7 top tower. And if Lucid can find an opportunity to break open this map, it looks like Optic Gaming will get a flag on the run. He might not have to do too much as multiple players are running into courtyard on him.
Yeah, just like that. Great pressure there, but Sniper going down in Sword's going to be a little problematic here for Formal. You notice he's going to stop at the very end, but Mortally has something to say about it. That's going to be 3 down for Carolina. I think Envore, the only one left that has a chance to drop the flag, and that's not happening. He's too far back there. That flag can continue moving. There's going to be first cap in for Optic Gaming within the first minute and 15 seconds.
Said they were efficient. They proved me right there. That was a phenomenal job. Mortally hits that first shot on the flag carrier. He's able to stop that flag, but unfortunately, a little bit of an overchow for that second kill, and because he kind of forces himself to either hit the no-scope or go down, that was the cap entirely. Since then, though, that cap gets punched in. 3 go down for Carolina. Again, Envore on the flank, still with the snipe, able to take down TriPPPeY. But if Envore goes down, this flag will go on the move. 3 players running in the courtyard. Deadzone with a bit of a I'm going to slay mentality here as he drops that flag. He looks to get some kills, and doesn't look like Optic have too much priority on getting this flag moved. They're going to have to get another kill onto Envore to try and run this one. Envore now trying to push onto Deadzone, but Deadzone has been a problem for Carolina Gaming this entire series, and that kill should continue this flag on the move as they can get this last kill in the Mauler. As Formal has his eyes set on the prize, Yakzn under a lot of pressure with TriPPPeY and Formal now still in control, and TriPPPeY's got that flag in hand as well.
A full setup here where you just have top tower, 2 people over at Needler. There's really not much they can do. Common and Envore pushing on through, but Optic, they know how to react to this. Looks like Formal can get that first pick. Envore also going down. Yakzn, one of the only ones that's going to really be able to stop here, and Formal's going to run that flag. Nice grenade by Yakzn.
Good grenade, but it's not enough. Still 2 down on the side of Carolina. Rockets were coming up, and I believe Optic Gaming were able to get a player into the green. It was Lucid who's able to put those rockets to use already. Envore gets taken down. Looks like TriPPPeY still topped their tower. Optic Gaming playing just about a perfect textbook Empyrean CTF.
Yeah, and just slays are just getting out of hand. It's 25-12 in favor of Optic. And you got to consider when a team is running the flags, how many times you have to take deaths on those way back, or those times that you just have to take deaths as you are making a move on the objective. So we're seeing an unorthodox run here, especially when someone's over at Sword, but it looks like Sword run is the play here. For Deadzone and Optic. Envore getting a stop, but can it be enough? Every single player, no matter where they're spawning, whether it's Court, whether it's Mauler, they're just receiving so much pressure.
Optic with every lane covered, all 4 down, the 3rd flag in their base, and it is a perfect Empyrean CTF performance by them, not even having to break 10 kills. or any of the members, and that is how Optic wanted to kick off their Saturday.
I mean, we've seen 2 of the fastest Empyrean ETFs we've really seen in Pool Player of the Circuit so far today and yesterday.
Yeah, you could tell. I mean, the map's obviously, the meta's been figured out on that map. It's been out for a long time, even in Infinite. A lot of practice on it, and you can tell how good the best in the world are at perfecting their craft. They can, and they have so many versatile options when running that flag. How many times do we see them drop it and hit the players' cuts and respawn, knowing if they get these kills, they can continue the flag on the move. They'll just have to worry about that one guy in the mauler, or with the flag run cuts, if they kill that one guy's sword, this flag gets under bridge and it's already home as well.
Yeah, that was just picture perfect there by Optic. Closing out the series in a commanding 3-0. I mean, in-game time was, well, I don't know, a total of 15 minutes-ish or so.
Yeah, it felt like
very, very quick there, saving their energy for the rest of the day. And then Carolina Gaming, they got one more series to try to keep their tournament life alive.
Fortunately, they won't have to play a team like Optic Gaming. Optic, obviously, the 1 seed in their pool. This was always going to be the beatdown that it was. I think Carolina Gaming now know what it's like to play some of the best in the world on land on the stage.
Yeah, and now Carolina Gaming, they're just going to have to keep their heads high because they have their best chance coming up next against Into the Breach.
Okay.
That is going to be the series that they need to win so that they can keep this tournament alive. But one thing that can happen is it can get demoralizing if you're losing a series to Pure, if you're losing a series to Optic here, and just not having things go in your favor. So sometimes you might play not the same way you would before. Maybe you're challenging too much. Maybe you're hiding too much. So we're going to have to see if they can just reset real quick, go in their next set, and take on Into the Breach.
I believe that will be the next match here on the B station, so stay tuned if you're interested in seeing Carolina versus Into the Breach. Optic Gaming will advance first in their pool with this 3-0, and we will look forward to seeing hopefully this version of Optic in the winner's bracket later today.